Hang on. I think I'm ready.
Great.
Okay.
You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Hello there, beautiful gods and goddesses of your reality. Welcome back. This is a Manifest with Jenny and Nutritious Lives. And of course, here's Nick, my beautiful colleague.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Hi, guys.
Yes. And Nick, of course, like we were discussing last time, is a hypnotherapist plus. Can you tell me what the plus means, please?
Well, we were talking before this, weren't we, about our passions and purpose in life. And one of my passions really, and it was developed a long time ago, we haven't got enough time on the tape to cover all of that, but my passion is to help people. My passion is to help people, Jen, and bring peace into their lives and to help them maybe let go of past traumas, etc. That's holding them back, you know, from minor to major. You know, we discussed this a little while ago that some people's, a woman's or a man's molehill is somebody else's mountain. So we're all different with our experiences. So there's a word, I think, phenomenology, if I can pronounce that, which is people's lived experiences. You can't just treat the individual or work with the individual. You have to understand their lived experience. And our lived experiences are a sum total of our actions, which get us to where we are. And my purpose, I feel, is to help people maybe understand where they've got to, how they've got here, and then what their purpose is in life, and how to specifically change that.
That's right, because it's not about our purpose. This is the thing. I think people think when I'm a life coach and you're a life coach, and it's almost like thought of as doing it our way, but it's not our way, is it? It's like we're all individuals. Do you feel like is there? What is your purpose? Have you got a specific gender?
No, I mean, I initially years ago, it was, and I joked to the camera, if there was any more female, I'd be deadly. Can I say that? I do. I'm from I won't go into the whole situation. My mother was perhaps my first client because we were from a domestic violent background. She doesn't like me saying that, so I had a lot of clients, 70%, 75% female women. And now over the years, it's sort of the balance has tilted a little bit more towards men. But I work with both clients, and they're both equally important, and both bring different experiences. The one thing I will say about genders, if I can, for the tape and for our podcast today, is, that's probably how old I am, sorry about that, is that I always joke with the client to say female thinking, bear with me, is male thinking is, put them both together, a hybrid of masculine and femininity. It's very powerful, because we all know that there's in myself femininity as well as masculinity, and in yourself there's masculinity as well as femininity, and we can tap into that. I think when there's not a balance within the individual, the woman or the man, then we get some issues and problems. Because I think the true masculinity or the true femininity, as with yourself, Jen, allows you to shine upon others and help them. Because when we feel balanced, then we can help others. So we're both not saying that we are totally empowered. We're still working on ourselves, aren't we? We have chats off camera, as it were, boosting each other. And that allows us then to help others. If we feel good, we can get others to feel good. And my purpose really is to ensure that family, community, neighbourhoods, nationally, globally even, we're all in it together. So it's about connection.
It is.
A deeper connection, perhaps.
Well, it was only it's only since I've really delved within and uncovered a lot of my own limitation with my own past thinking and trauma and wounds, that now I can look at things a lot more objectively, a lot more balanced. You know, previously I felt like I carried a lot of anger around. I saw what I wanted to, what the mirror projection was. So I saw a lot of animosity within the world. And we've had this discussion, haven't we?
Yeah,
but once you start to heal, you start to realise that those are just your own wounds, you know? And this is, I feel like this is why I particularly, I know that you were saying, you know, you potentially will work with females and males.
Yes.
I've come to the conclusion now, ideally, I would like to work with my beautiful females.
Yes.
For one, because I'm a female. And for two, I do believe, again, being the creator of my own reality, it's only my own perception, because it's all just our individual perception. But I see a lot of imbalance between with genders, regards to the genders and regards to women now. You know, we're a lot of women are very unhappy. You know?
It's a shame.
And I think it's, you know, one, it's the food system.
Definitely.
And the chemicals and the plastics. Two, it's just the stress levels, you know. And women, we are different to you guys, you know. We shouldn't feel, and I used to be very masculine in my approach. You know, I was very masculine. I was all out of sync. And now that I've balanced myself, balanced my hormones, that I've come back to being a lot more feminine. And this is what I want to encourage other women to take on and to, you know, to understand, because I think we're very sensitive in society at the moment, aren't we? You know, when we keywords. You were saying the other day, Nick, that you feel that we can't speak out about these things. Our natural states, maybe, as females and males. I
mean, sorry to sort of cut in there, but we're saying, well, Jen obviously is a female advocate, which is fantastic. And again, to be a female advocate, you've got to, in my opinion, have to be in your true femininity. And you've embarked on that journey beautifully, if I might add, and it's brought you to this place now, so you're more balanced. Because if you're, let's just say, a coach of football, but you say you can coach rugby, they're two completely different sports, aren't they? So if you're in your femininity, then you can coach those women and help them bring out that femininity, because there are a lot of myths around genders these days. We won't go into it too much, but there's a lot of ideology and how should we say, misidentifying what we actually are, maybe in the schools process and that sort of thing. And people are frightened to speak, you know, their truths. But that's great that you're advocating that. You're not sort of putting them in a box, but they can feel your femininity coming off you. So you can allow them to maybe speak their mind. But I think the media's got a large role to play in this, that it's been going down this sort of one-way street, that women have thought they've got to compete with men, and now men competing with women. And
there's no competition, because we complement each other. You know, and that's the way we should be doing. I think, and you raised this the other day, you feel like a lot of men can't speak out, Nick. And I feel like a lot of women aren't speaking out, you know, and this is where the problem lies. Because what I see is it almost becomes like a, you know, this sort of.
I like that, Jen.
I'll do that again.
Do it again, go on.
I don't know whether I could.
Okay, go on. No, that was good.
You've put me off my
you mean,
speech
I know what
now.
you're saying, it's your white, it's the white
like,
noise, isn't it?
It's this anger, and it's this build up that then you see this, and realistically, both sexes are feeling very frustrated, you know. And when we do it, like the way that we talk, when we do it, it's just a dance, isn't it? There's no
it is
competition.
It is, and I think you're totally right in what you're saying, that, you know, we are two sides of the same coin. Humanity, masculine, feminine. And true masculine man, in my opinion, again, will allow the woman's femininity to come through, but also as the woman is the divine creator, as we know, you're giving birth to the children, you're giving that energy to us, you know, you're allowing my masculinity to shine through, you know. So it's like a team, isn't it? We mentioned football or rugby just to give you that analogy. The team's only as good as the individual players. So it's like relationships. The relationship between a man and a woman is only as good as that woman or that man feels individually. And they bring it together. And then the man, you know, backs the woman and the woman backs the man. And the roles, I just think, have become a little bit confused with society. You know, what is a woman, what is a man? And I think there's lots of things at play that I won't go into now with that.
Well, I will go a little bit deeper than that, Nick, and I will actually talk about, you know, my feelings with regards to sexes. Now, I believe that there's two sexes, which is a male and a female.
Yes.
Right now, you know, that is a very touchy subject at the moment. However, being the master of my reality, that is what I see in my reality. No one's going to change my opinion on that. However, this is what I want to get over to people, and where the divide is, right? So I see all the time that people aren't coming from a standpoint of love, and we've discussed this because when you come through eyes of love, it changes everything. And I want to give you an example. So on TikTok, I saw a video, and it was two chaps who look Spanish or Italian or maybe Brazilian, but they were very, very feminine, and they were walking in a market too. One was dressed up a bit more like a lady, the other one was quite Muslim. They were walking like Beyonce, right? And these men were extremely feminine and beautiful, very beautiful. And my reaction was repulsive. It was repulsive.
You were triggered.
And I was triggered. And so this is what I do. I question, why was I triggered? And the trigger was that they made me feel less feminine. Right? I looked at these beautiful men. And I thought to myself, initially I was like, oh, that is repulsive. And the repulsion was that they were absolutely so beautiful and feminine. And it really made me feel a little bit like the green-eyed monster. And yet, Nick, I believe that I present as quite highly feminine, right? And it still gave me that reaction.
And I think what you're saying is this is a projection for us all, that we can be triggered by, you know, what our senses, by somebody in front of us that may be better looking, more handsome, prettier or whatever. And I don't think it matters whether they are masculine or feminine. It can bring out maybe some fear or aggression.
That's right.
Which is a negativity.
It came from a fear place, a rejection place, you know, where they're going to take something from me place.
Because you've got something called social norms and deviant behaviour. And no disrespect, the deviant behaviour is becoming the social norms. You know, some people won't accept men dressing as women, and also women dressing as men.
But I do want to come back to this point, because we could talk and talk, couldn't we? And this is just flowing. There was no agenda set, but we can chat. But coming back to love, and this is what I want to promote. And I know with us, you know, with being dating coaches and talking, giving our male to female thoughts. This is really imperative that we get this over to the viewers, Nick, because once you come from a more healed place, my mind felt this repulsion, and it felt that way, and it felt that bit of insecurity come up. But then, because I wake up every morning by saying my heart's the biggest part, love took over. And then love made me say, How can I blame these people for being who they believe that they are, rightly or wrongly?
Yes.
Right? You know, whatever it is. And as I've said to you, in Jen's world, being the creator,
yes,
there's a male and a female. So it didn't fit the sort of, you know, the norm for me.
Yeah, the social norm.
The social norm. But am I going to reject? Am I that person that's going to carry the wounds around of rejection and project this onto someone who feels like they're just being themselves?
And that's a good point, isn't it? It's we all carry, you know, it's like relationships. They say if you carry the bricks from the past relationship, you're going to build the same house. So you are then, unless you take them off your shoulder, literally, and let go of it, your baggage, then you're going to view everybody the same. Everybody is different. But when you come from a place of love, as you said, that takes over. I mean, we looked up some of the research, and we've mentioned that before, how much the heart gives off signals. 10-foot aura. Okay, even more, but they haven't got the tools to measure it even further. But you know, as a mother, unconditional love to your youngsters, you know, you'd do anything for them. But again, it's projecting that love to others. It's about caring for other people in the community as well. Because there's another thing I'm going to bring in if I can. A lot of people think family first. And I do agree with that. But I'm sure you'd say if one of your daughters went out the fold and let's say a group of girls were being a bit untoward to them, a bit negative, you'd want another woman or somebody like myself stepping in and saying, hey, what are you doing?
Of course, this is why I'm doing this, right? This is why I'm...
So we're trying to spread that love and that connection with everybody. And I think at the moment, going back to rewinding a little bit, I think people, male and female, the genders and youngsters, are feeling disconnected. And coming back here, as you're rightly saying, to the heart, coming back in the body, when you connect back with the heart, your energy changes. It's heart coherence, isn't it?
That's right.
It's a different vibrational frequency.
Heart and mind coherence, that's it. And it naturally releases the wounds because you know, and you do the same. We have these conversations anyway, don't we? Where we've got our viewpoints on the way that the world operates. We've got, you know, without going into detail, we've talked about it. There is an agenda set which we don't need to go into. But it's like, are we going to blame the individuals for that agenda set? And my heart tells me no. You know,
you're quite right with that. And sort of, and I'm chipping in, but we know there's an agenda, but the people can change that anyway with more love for another person, another community, another religion even. You know, it's, and I think the problem in the world at the moment, if I can say that to the audience, is ignorance. And ignorance comes from fear. When you're fearful, you don't speak up. But when you feel love, you'll put yourself to be vulnerable. You'll smile at that stranger.
Or we like we discussed, you do, but it comes through as anger. Because you're not really.
Because you're frustrated.
That's right, and but you're not. Your viewpoint is flawed anyway by default.
It's skewed, isn't it?
Because you're coming from an egoic, angry place, not from an unconditional, loving place.
And I think with what you're saying here, this egocentric, I mean, the physical representation of the ego is your old brain. We've spoke before, the primitive brain that only wants Jen and myself and you guys to survive. And it will do anything to get you to survive. So there could be the best woman out there for you, but because in your past you had a relationship with a dark-haired Virgo, your old brain is, and the association, your brain's on high alert. But don't let your past become your biography. So what we're saying is, you know, changing that. Your past doesn't have to be the present. You know, it's allowing yourself to experience different things and let go of the past. You know, and then I think we can connect more deeply and allow that to happen, because I'm sure that's happened to some of the audience members where they've been told that's a great guy or that's a great woman, but because of their past negativity, their old brain is going on high alert.
Well,
it's irrational.
It's repulsive, you know. If you've had all these triggers and wounds from the past, if someone presents to you as secure, you know, loving, secure, balanced, you will see that as maybe repulsive.
Yes.
Right? Because of your own triggers and your own wounds.
That's a really valid point that Jen's making, because there's a saying, a familiar hell takes over an unfamiliar heaven. So our nervous system is wired for familiar. The old brain wants familiar.
That's right.
So
at least you're alive.
At least you know something. You're alive. You're alive and you know something.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you can let go of that and realise that maybe taking a slight risk, your life will change.
Yeah.
But it's irrational. The primitive brain, really, because it just wants you to survive.
Yeah.
So we've got to allow the heart to take over.
Yeah.
Because this brain, as we've said before, is a lying organ. It's telling you that fantastic woman over there is no good for you because you had a similar relationship with a Virgo who had dark hair years ago.
Are you giving us some personal details away there, Nick?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You know, we're just. Well, I think Virgos are perfect anyway, but we won't go into that. Star signs.
There you go. They're lining up now, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and this is the thing. I mean, you know, we're not going to go into too much detail going forward with the dating side of it today. Yeah. We're making a point, but of course, this is the sort of stuff we will be delving into.
Yes.
You know, it's a match made in heaven with us being able to talk on this level because it's really about, you know, love relationships, but it's any interpersonal relationship.
Yeah, you're totally right. Because again, we've often discussed, haven't we, off camera, that when we talk to our clients or clientele, whatever you want to call them, clients, that any problems in the home impact on a work environment. Any problems in the work environment impact on the home.
Yeah.
And we've got relationships with everybody, your neighbours, your work colleagues, your lovers, your family members.
Yes.
And if the biggest relationship, if you think about it, as we've said many times, is with yourself.
Yes. Oh, self-concept.
You know,
I've got to keep explaining what self-concept is, because I think...
Please do if you can.
Well...
If we've got time today.
I feel like that's got to be a separate one on its own.
Yeah, so maybe the next podcast, self-concept.
We've got so many things to get through, haven't we? But really, self-concept meaning in any area of our life, how we view oneself in any area. But that's a great point that you made, because people don't understand how they could be flying high in work, or they perceive flying high in work, and then, you know, a lot of their interpersonal relationships not working, and they don't realise that by actually helping themselves, or us helping them help themselves in other areas, that would add benefit to even climbing up the ladder with their career.
Yes,
you know, they wouldn't understand how that could be the case.
Oh, most definitely. And maybe we sort of better finish on that for the benefits of the tape.
Yes.
Or the camera.
The tape.
I think that
like
it is
VCR tape.
VCR, that's it. Yeah. My dad used to tell me about them, but anyway. So it's all about, hopefully the audience has found it beneficial, that it's really about the relationship with yourself. Yeah. Once we get that, I won't say sorted, because nobody's perfect.
No.
You know, I've got a few % to go, but hey, I'm joking.
Just a few. I'm catching up. You know.
Would you agree, Jen? Surely. It's the real thing is, or the main thing is, the relationship with yourself.
Definitely, everything is about self. Everything comes back to self. This is why I'm so excited about plugging it. I mean, I know we're going to finish this up, but this is really what I want to get over to people, because I almost feel, and this is maybe a perception I need to change, but I almost feel that people look at it as boring. Oh, working, what do you mean working from within? They don't understand how magical it actually is. It's like...
I mean, I think it is the key to life, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've mentioned this before. There was a temple in Greece, was it thousands of years ago? I can't remember the exact date, sorry. And it said, know thyself. And you've repeated that. You use it, don't you?
Knowing thyself.
So when you understand yourself, you know, you understand life better. You can project with more love. You can project with far more confidence. Because again, if we think about it, if the love is a bit mixed up within us, which it is at times, we will become frustrated, angry, maybe even aggressive.
And the beautiful thing for me is, because that's my message, this is what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
I know that anyone who really understands this and walks the walk and evolves and grows and changes, you know, on their own journey, it just brings them back to this place anyway.
It does.
You know?
Lovely.
Yeah. So
thank you, Jen.
Let's end it there.
Brilliant.
Right, I will see you in the next one. Maybe me and Nick. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. He's a very busy man, you know, with all these Virgos.
Thank you.
See you in the next one.